We know that if this is a game that we have to win. Our preparation going into the game has been the same as in the two previous games, and all we can do is prepare the team to play a very tough match, as all of these games are, and to make sure that we put in a level of performance that allows us to win the game.
Dennis, after drawing in the first two games, what did you correct? How did you prepare this game against Mozambique?
We only drew the second game, we didn't.
Oh yeah, you lost the first one, sorry.
No, it's important for us. I think if you look at the performance from the second game in comparison to the first game, the performance was better. So we just need to look at the game, analyze it, go over it as a team, look at the things that went well, that were better, and things that we can still do better. And hopefully we can just keep growing and put on a good performance tomorrow.
First question. Let's start from here, please. Hello.
My name is Kwame Jumo. I'm from Ghana Television. My question goes to the head coach, Chris. Chris, we find ourselves in a very similar situation to the last Afcon. Losing the first game, drawing our second game, going into the final game where we needed a result to qualify. What's the conversation in the camp like ahead of this game against Mozambique on the back of that performance?
I think we are all aware that this is a situation that we would rather not be in. You know, we would rather have more points, and we feel certainly from the performance and the goals that we conceded that we should be in a better position, but we are not. So the conversation is not difficult. This is a game we have to win. The level of performance, I think the players, and I think most people appreciate that the level of performance in our game against Egypt was better than our level of performance in our first game with Cape Verde. So the players know what it will take to get a result. There are no easy games in this tournament, and we will come up against a Mozambique team also knowing that they have to win the game. So we have to be physically and mentally prepared for this, and the players know this.
Le rouge, celui qui a rouge.
Satish Shaker Empowers magazine for Chris. No doubt you know the history of Ghana being the African team of the 1960s and having won the tournament 4 times. Does that put more pressure on you to perform here, or do you just see it as, well, I'm here now, this is what we have to do, and just carry on, or is that pressure actually helping you?
No, I think of the pressure that you go into every tournament with. I don't think it's a reflection of the past. There isn't anybody that's associated with the Black Stars that's not conscious of the trophies that we have won, and the dominance in the past that the team has shown in this competition. But this is a different year. There is always pressure. There's always pressure if you are a Black Stars head coach. There is always pressure if you are a Black Stars player. This comes with the game. But, you know, we have a group of players, as does every team, that go into pressurised games at club level, albeit to win the league, or to make sure they stay in the league, or to stay in a cup competition, to stay in a European competition. So levels of pressure as head coach you're used to, and also the players, and it comes with the job, and you have to accept it, and you have to welcome it.
Celui-là, celui-ci, voilà.
I'm Mukhtar Nabila Abdullahi. I work with Joy FM in Ghana. My question goes to Dennis. I recall after the first game against Cape Verde, you did mention that you and your colleagues will need to be aggressive enough in your play. Based on your conversation with the rest of the boys, what is the mentality like approaching that game against Mozambique tomorrow?
I think, after the first game, there were obviously some issues that needed to be sorted, and I think if we look at the second game, that was already much better. I'm thinking like in the first game we had some issues with players being available between the lines. And I think in the second game we were more compact, so there was less space for Egypt to find the players in between the lines, and also if the lines are closer to one another, it's easier to press and you can be more aggressive. If the lines are far apart, then you always get caught up in between. So I think like off the ball against Mozambique, we'll need to do the same thing.
It's in the middle, behind. No, celui-ci. No, voilà, devant. This one.
Thank you very much. My name is Atapuku from Ghana. This one goes to Chris. Since 2006, this is the Ghana team at the Afcon with the least of expectations internally about winning a trophy. Has that played into your preparations in any way? And where from the pressure to succeed all of a sudden coming from?
I think I understand the question. I think there is always a pressure going into this tournament because we are the Black Stars. I accept the first part of your question that potentially going into this tournament the expectations maybe were not as high as in previous years. So this I accept. But for all of these questions and for any question that anybody asks about pressure now, we have to use that as motivation, and the players have to use that as motivation. And I would like to think that after the first performance, we always know there will be criticism if we don't get the results that we want, and I would like to think that the team used that in a positive way. And if the expectations are perhaps lower this tournament than they have been in previous tournaments, then exactly the same. We have to use this as motivation to make sure that we succeed in what our ambitions are.
Yes. Oui.
Coach, my name is Mohammed Awal Hudu. I work with KSBN FM from Kumasi. Coach, judging from the fact that the Black Stars have gone the last two Afcons without a win, I remember the last Afcon in our last game against Comoros, the Black Stars stumbled by losing by 3-2. So that it gets into your mind going to the last game that this is what happened to the Black Stars in the last Afcon. So the Black Stars will try as much as possible to avoid what happened some 2 years ago in Cameroon.
I think as regards what happened 2 years ago, some players here were of course involved in that, and some not. But what players get used to over a period of time, and remember this is a huge world tournament, but players get used to in their careers bouncing back from defeats, try to improve their game and trying to put what was in the past in the past. Our concentrations have all been about looking forward, and I think if you are concentrating too much on what happened in the past in a particular game, then you can let it affect your preparation, your thinking going into this game. We just have to think of the last game and the improvement in the last game and reaching the same levels or the correct levels to win a football match. And we appreciate the past very much, but we can only think about what's in front of us now, and that will be a tough game tomorrow.
Ici un jaune. Un jaune, celui qui a un jaune. Voilà. No, you, please.
Thank you very much. I'm Asai Robin, Escalate TV Ghana. Coach, the last game, after the game, we saw Majid Ashley hobbling off. Yesterday, GFA gave us an update on Majid Ashley. What is his situation at the moment? Is he fit to play tomorrow? And if he is unable to play, are you ready to give Richmond Lamptey, who is yet to be added to any Monday squad, a chance to play against Mozambique? Thank you.
So the update on Majid is that we are still assessing him, but the signs are good. He will train today, and the signs are good that he will be fine. This was a situation in the game where we had to bring him off. He'd received a kick in training before that, and a consequence of that meant as he started to get into the latter part of the game, he was feeling it. As regards Richmond Lamptey, he's very much part of the squad, and the fact he's part of the squad, then everybody has an opportunity. You know, we constantly talk about how difficult it is to pick a team, to pick a bench, and to leave players out. And this is the responsibility of myself and the technical staff. But Richmond has been a big part of our squad, as has everybody else. And that means that they all put themselves always into consideration to be involved.
You ready, madam?
My name is Akosej. I work with the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Coach, based off of what happened in our last game, bringing on Bukari after he made the error and he was subbed off, have you been able to talk to him, since you said all the games you have played are emotional games? Emotionally, how is he feeling, and will he be ready emotionally to play if you have to put him in our final game?
Yes, I've spoken to him, and I'll go back to what I originally said after the game, is that it is an emotional game, and as a head coach, you have to make these decisions, and you hope you make more right decisions than not. But this is a decision that we made at the time. This was never a reflection on the individual, because apart from being a very good footballer, he's also a very good individual and a very good team player. So yes, I have spoken to him, and obviously conversations are always private between head coach and player. But yes, this was a necessity for me to be able to speak to him as soon as I could. And I can tell you, it wasn't that evening, because still there are a lot of emotions of the game. But the first opportunity that I had the next day to speak to him, I have.
My name is Emmanuel Usu from Media Journal. My question to Dennis. Dennis, in our two previous games against Cape Verde and also Egypt, we did consider goals being created by individual errors. I want to understand, as players, mentally, is there any issue affecting you guys leading to these errors, or you think the pressure to perform better in this tournament is leading to this error? Are there much demands on you guys? That is why you've been committing all these errors in our previous games?
Yeah, it's true that maybe, let's say, 3 of the 4 goals we conceded we could have avoided, but yeah, this is part of sports and football in general, and we don't blame any individuals. we said in the dressing room as well, we win together, we lose together. I don't think it's due to the pressure. It's just sometimes at this level you make certain decisions, and if you make the wrong decision, then yeah, it can be fatal. And unfortunately for us, it's been fatal on a few too many occasions. But I don't think this is creeping into people's heads. I think we need to learn from it, and then in the upcoming game try to avoid the smallest mistakes and maybe not take too much risk to avoid any unnecessary goals against.
Yeah.
Bonjour, ma question s'adresse à Denis. Après votre défaite, vous avez reçu la visite des anciennes gloires du football ghanéen à votre camp de base. Dites-nous, qu'est-ce que cette visite a apporté à vous et à vos camarades ces jours-ci, avant le match crucial face au Mozambique?
Tu veux que je réponde en français?
Ouais, oui.
Ok, bah oui, ils sont venus juste pour nous encourager. Ils ont dit qu'ils ont la confiance en nous et qu'on doit juste être fiers de représenter le Ghana. Et oui, il y a une certaine pression qui vient avec. Mais si tu veux jouer sans pression, il faut pas venir jouer pour le Ghana. Et ils voulaient juste montrer leur confiance en nous et juste nous encourager.
Derrière. L'autre, voilà, c'est ça.
This goes to the coach. My name is El Samuels from Asasi Radio, Ghana. We've had these occasions in 2006 playing against the underdogs Zimbabwe in the situation we find ourselves in today. It happened to us again in Cameroon against Comoros. Psychologically, if you ask any Ghanaian, they are looking at this game. How have we signed these guys up, the players, to be able to go into this game, to get this out of your mind? Because this is the third time we find ourselves in this loop. What are we telling the players? What have you been telling them with the management? How best we can get ourselves out of this loop so it doesn't happen for the third time? Thank you.
I think we have a group of players that I think are very aware of the past and very aware of the moments in Afcon where we did very well, and then the moments in Afcon where we didn't do very well. So I think they are all aware of that. But that's not the motivation. The motivation is that we know the position we are in now. There is not one person associated with the Black Stars, and if I'm speaking about the players, there is none of the 27 players that we have here that want to be eliminated from this tournament. We are very conscious as a group what that means to the team, what that means to the football association, the environment and the country. We are very, very aware. So what happened in the past can be a reference point, but by far the most important point is that we have a very tough game tomorrow that will see us, if we get the right result, the winning result, will see us making sure that we qualify from the group, and that is the biggest incentive that the players need to know, and the biggest incentive that they are all aware of.
Hello. Okay, my name is Ibrahim, freelancer from Ghana. Coach, please, in our last game, we had to rely on the brilliance of Mohamed Kudus for our 2 goals. We hardly created any opportunities apart from those 2 goals. Going into this game, there's a likelihood that Mozambique will be targeting on how to cut off Mohamed Kudus from the game. Have you done any work on how to create any other chances apart from relying solely on Mohamed Kudus for our chances and goals?
Mohamed is a player that's playing in very good form at the moment. Of course, he scored 2 goals, but we also have to take into account that we were also playing against a very, very good team, a team that would be one of the favourites to lift this trophy. I think a team that in the last time they won it, I think conceded 2 goals in the whole of this tournament. So it's about scoring goals wherever that comes from. And what we want is to be able to create more opportunities for the team as a whole. The goal before we scored, of course, was from a set play, from a corner, which is an area that we haven't scored too many goals from. So it doesn't really matter where the goals come from. We prepare ourselves the exact same way going into this game as the last game and the last game. And if it means that one individual scores, if it means that we score from a free kick or a penalty, the most important thing is that we get the win that we need to give us an opportunity to still be in the competition.
Yeah.
Coach, my name is Delali Frank from Dor Soccer TV on YouTube and then a freelancer. My question is regards to a social media update. I don't know how active you are on the internet, but I'm sure your assistant coach is very active there, George Boateng. So one of your players, Daniel Amati, has deleted all Black Stars related content from his page. The conversation on the internet is that it may be as if he's not happy with the fact that he's not getting playing time. The player has come out to say it's not related to that. And I want to ask you, have you spoken with Daniel Amati in relation to the fact that he's not getting playing time? And how is the player taking the fact that he's one of the experienced players in the team, but he's not being featured so far? Thank you.
But firstly, in any relation to social media, I am not on social media myself, so I would have to say most things I don't see. But I have a head of media that obviously informs you of anything that is put on there or we see. In reference to the particular player is the same reference to all the players. I would be very surprised if there is any player in the squad that is happy that he's not playing. You want a competitive squad, you want players to be pushing, and you want players to be disappointed that they're not in the squad. This is, for me, a normal emotion and a normal reaction from players. As regards the individual himself, Daniel is an extremely good professional that trains well, always wants to make himself available and a player of great experience. But he's also a valuable member of this squad and has been in this squad for a long time. As head coach, you use the opportunity to speak to as many players as you can. It's not always easy. We have 27 players, and our workload between the games is quite a heavy workload as regards the analysis work that we do, the video work that we do. But we try and spend as much time as we can speaking to all the individuals we can. And yes, Daniel is one that I've spoken to regarding him not starting in the 2 games. But Daniel is one of 27 players, and we have to try and communicate with the players the best way that we can. But as you can imagine, we can never speak with all of the players all of the time. But we try the best that we can.
Last question for you.
Thank you. My name is Joseph Adamaki with Ghana Web. Can you hear me? All right. My name is Joseph from Ghana Web. Okay, Coach, this is a follow-up to my colleague's question that I had about the fact that we have alternatives when it comes to creating chances up front. Coach, for the past few matches that you've been in charge, you've struggled to see the Black Stars create chances from set pieces. Is it that we are not
working to score goals with set pieces, because we see a number of chances with set pieces, sometimes corner kicks, free kicks and all that. What's the issue? Because gone are the days we had, I don't want to refer to that, but gone are the days we used to have Sule Muntari, ACNN, Apia, create chances from set pieces. We scored a goal, critical goal against Nigeria at the 2008 Afcon, and it was from a set piece. How are we going to materialize our create chances from set pieces? Because we saw Baby scored a nice free kick against Mozambique.
As regards working on set plays, if I can tell you of my experiences, as regards working on set plays, we would work on set plays before every camp, and to the qualities that you are after in a set play is one is good delivery, one is good timing and aggression in the box, and the other one is sometimes luck, where the ball can bounce in the correct place and somebody's there. So on any period that we haven't scored, or any game we haven't scored, it is never down to the fact that we have not worked at them. But I can tell you my experience as a coach. I've had periods where you've worked on set plays week after week and not scored, and then maybe for a 2-week period or so you've not worked so much, and then in that period it's the time when you score. It's making sure that you are covering all bases, defensively and offensively. And when them opportunities arrive, where the ball falls in the right place, where the run is right, that you are there.